So how's your week been going so far, man? How's it starting out?
Man, it's going already. You know what I mean? A lot of things. I'm over at one of our offices right now, just kind of going over some stuff. But it's always some adventurous over here at 10:15.
I can dig it, man. Basically, this show is to give some insight to upcoming entrepreneurs to let them know the ins and outs of what's really going on with business and how to create one and everything. And also to give people some insight who don't have a clue on what they want to do. This kind of will help them give an idea of what they can do with their lives because everything is going into the entrepreneur world. So I felt like everybody should have some type of help
Yeah,
and keys from people who are actually successful. So that way they're not just hearing anybody say it.
real talk. I feel that. I love that. That's kind of like what we teach over at Project Level. So I'm all the way for it.
Well,
Let's
that's
get it
that's
going.
what's up, man. I'm gonna just go ahead and just jump right in with my first question. And I ask everybody this is, do you have any certifications or did you go to school for what you currently do?
Absolutely not. My wife hates when I say that too, and I'll be like, man, I'm an uneducated, successful, businessman, but I'm educated. I graduated high school, did a little bit of college, but now I have no certificates. I have a certificate of life, and experiences and just a whole lot of experiences in this business shit though, for sure.
Gotcha, gotcha. And actually, that's the best answer because I mean, it goes to show that you don't need the traditional education just to make it in this world. So that's actually the
Yeah.
best answer. I appreciate that one. And also, what was your main motivator or spark? Because I was doing my research and it seems like you managed to jump from business to business with ease. You did the rap thing very successfully. Then you jumped into I believe you're doing artist management, correct?
And a bunch of other things. But yeah, I think the transition. Don't get me wrong. Leaving the rap game, I retired early. I retired from rap at 29 years old. Kind of like, and it was always kind of planned out. When I was a kid, I started early. I started at 11 years old, and to me, 30 was old when you're 11. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
now, 30 is young as fuck. I wish I was 30 again. I just made 40 this past year, so it's like being 30 is great, but when I was young, I used to always be like, nah, I got a plan. If I'm not where I personally want to be as an artist by the time I'm 30, I'm going to transition out, bow out, and kind of like utilize my leverage and everything that I accomplished as a rap artist and start other businesses. So I kind of kept that promise to myself. It also kind of was accelerated a little bit a year early because I had lost my dad. My dad was battling lung cancer. He passed away a couple of months after I turned 29. So I was kind of like, no, actually, a couple of months after I turned 28, he was there. So yeah, so I kind of lost, a little bit at that time motivation to be an artist and go through the politics and the struggle that it takes to make it as an artist. But I was a sharp ass businessman by that point. You know what I mean? Like I was engulfed and I owned my own record label. Of course, I was putting out other artists, and me and my wife, we was just beginning to start like a marketing company that actually helped other independent artists navigate through the industry. So by the time I was 28, I was like fully ready to transition, and I still had a great name still in the Bay Area as a rap artist. I had a lot of influence. Um, I'm a good people person, so I was able to build a lot of great relationships with people in the industry. So I knew transitioning, I was hoping that I would have still a lot of love and resources left in the industry. But come to find out though, when I left the game, a lot of my colleagues, I would say, from the rap game, they left too. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that like I didn't have a lot of access. I had to reprove myself all over again. Big Rich the rapper, I was the guy. It was good. Anytime they wanted me to come rap and all that shit, but Big Rich the businessman, they was kind of like, oh, you sure? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. So I had to build that shit from scratch along with Danielle. So doing that was tough. We went through our trials, we went through our growing pains and shit. But where we at now, this is the best we've ever been. It's especially like financially and business wise. So it paid off in the long run.
Nice, nice. And that actually leads me into my next question, which is what are some of the sacrifices that you had to make in order to become who you are now?
Everything, bro. I was willing to sacrifice everything but my integrity. And that's even, debatable, because sometimes I had to do shit I really didn't want to do, but never did nothing that I like, nothing that degraded me as a human being or as a man. But I had to get off my ass. I had to humble myself over and over. I had to have a chip on my shoulder. I had to have a battery in my back to go out there, to have the energy to prove myself. I always felt like, um, I always felt, like the underdog, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And that was that good chip to have, because I walked in places very humble and kind of not expecting anything, right? And then I come out on top. Not normally all of the time. I usually walk in a meeting and come out with what I want, because I go in there with a hunger and I don't feel entitled. Entitlement is like, I feel entitled to small shit that's around me, like small accolades and stuff. But as far as the game, I feel like the game don't owe me shit. So my approach towards it is always going out there and getting it, and remaining humble and be willing to start from scratch and build it up. So it took a lot of sacrifices. In the rap days, it was sacrificing time with my kids, them growing up, and they was, 2 and 4, I believe, when I retired. So they was babies, and I was missing, valuable time with them at that time. Um, and just kind of being disconnected from life, because I was always working. And then, like, Danielle, she managed me, but I kind of managed myself as well. We owned the companies, so it was like we was the artists and the CEOs, right? So it was nonstop work for us. So I sacrificed time. I sacrificed the ability to kind of do what the fuck I want to do. I couldn't just wild out and just live the way I want to live. A lot of youngsters that we mentor now, that's a battle that I deal with them a lot. Sometimes they just want to do what the fuck they want to do, and I get that. But we public figures, and we're blessed to be able to make a living doing what we love to do. And with that, we have to sacrifice our freedom sometimes, and not just do what the fuck we want to do. You know what I'm saying? Not wild out and say shit on Instagram and do stuff like that. Even though I still, sometimes I catch myself saying wild shit sometimes, but I'm a human, you know what I mean? But overall, I'm a soldier to this. I'm militant when it comes to this business, and discipline is very important. And sometimes discipline takes a lot of sacrifice, right? So
Absolutely. What I was wondering was, did you have anyone teach you financial literacy? Because it seems like that it's just like it works.
yeah, shoebox money. I just learned about taxes and shit in the last decade. You know what I'm saying? Like, just with the nonprofit world, and how tedious that world is, with taxes. And as an artist, as an entrepreneur, I never really paid taxes, for the first half of my life. So it was like, you know what I mean? Like, allegedly never paid taxes, because I didn't really have to, and then I didn't know how to either. So I learned all of that later. But management, well, money, I always was good at managing money, because we never had a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, with reinvesting in yourself as an artist, we was playing with crumbs compared to now. So it was kind of like I was always good at making the money stretch. You know what I'm saying? So good hustler, good entrepreneur, but I'm better at making my money stretch. I can make, I know dudes that can, be up a $250,000, lose it, get it right back. I'm not that type. If I got a $250,000, I'm gonna make that shit stretch and make it feel like $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna make this shit work. We're gonna invest in the right places. We're not gonna spend frugalously. Excuse me. I fuck with that. But we ain't gonna spend crazy. We're gonna stay in line. We're gonna stay disciplined to make sure we get it done. And then whatever we don't have in cash, we'll make up for it with swag and presentation. You know what I'm saying? So
Gotcha.
finesse that shit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Success. What is your particular idea of success?
Man, I got many ideas on that. The ultimate success is like whatever your goal is, right? Like, my gauge, I'm a huge fan of Jay-Z and Rock Nation and what they've built. And I indirectly pattern a lot of my stuff behind what Jay and them did. You know what I'm saying? Like, the independent mindset, but also with the savvy to kind of, get up in there with them corporate motherfuckers and do my thing too. I know how to wiggle. I know how to finesse those situations with corporations and stuff like that. I work with a lot of them. Me and Danielle do a lot of business with them. and they like us because we able to transition. We can bring ourselves to the table. I come up in there, motherfucker, with my sweats, my t-shirt, and some and some fucking Crocs on, and still deliver that energy that they love and that they need. You know what I'm saying? And then at night I can still go out, put my rapper gear on, put my big chains on, and go do my superstar shit too as well. So success is measured by that, but there's also other levels of success where that was the reason why I was able to walk away from the rap game early, because I had did a lot of I had accomplished a lot of milestones that I wanted to accomplish, and I was satisfied and I was happy. Now I felt like it was time to move on to other things. When I performed with E40 at San Jose Arena in front of 30,000, I knew what it felt like. I'm like, okay, I did this shit. We got, the #1 song in the Bay Area. I think at that time I had the #1 and #6 song in the Bay Area. And at the record label I was signed to, Koch Records. At that time, that was the first artist they ever had that had two top 10 records at the same time signed to them. And Koch at that time was home of DJ Khaled, home of Jim Jones and Dipset, home of BG and the Hot Boys. It was a lot of heavy hitters over there. So it was a big accomplishment, and I knew what it felt like to be top dog in my city, top dog in my region. E40 blessed me. We had a great run, but I remember performing at San Jose Arena, and I was like, if I never get a chance to do this shit again, I'm just grateful that I had this shot, right? So instead of looking at that as being okay, now I can just quit and lay over and die, I was like, nah. If this isn't for me, if I'm not gonna make it to the level of Jay-Z as a rap artist, I'm for sure gonna meet that nigga as a businessman, and meet him at his level as a businessman. So the fucking pursuit never stopped. You know what I mean? Like I put the mic down, but I got straight to work behind the scenes and built up a lot of great stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still meet Jay up there. You know, me and Danielle, we always talk about that shit when we first sit down and had that real mafia talk with him and close a deal. We still gonna do it. And just grateful in between that we've able to do many deals with many huge billion-dollar corporations and bring that shit right back to the neighborhood that we grew up in. It's a beautiful thing.
Nice. I can salute that. Now, you've done a lot of collaborating with some pretty well-known artists. So, like, what is the importance in your career of the network?
Man, this is like 90% who you know, not what you know. What you know is going to keep you there, right? But who you know is going to get you in the door. And unfortunately, the art of networking has kind of, diminished its value because of social media. But with me and my team, like, we love that. I'm like, shit, I don't even have to be there physically in front of you no more. I can show you what I do and talk to you right from my social media. That's why I flood so much on my social media and I tell so many stories. I got like 5 or 6 different stories ongoing at all times on my page. It can either be, our collaboration with Forever 21 and what we're working on with them. We have a partnership with YouTube, and I can showcase that. We manage multiple artists and creatives and influencers, and I can show that. I can show my family life. I can show, the retired rapper that still, gets booked to do shows here and there. You know what I mean? Like my fashion sense and my clothing brand that I have, Legendary Rich. It's Mogul, but the name of the company is Legendary Rich. So I'm able just to do a lot of cool stuff. You know what I'm saying? And kind of not limit it. So networking is very important. I think all the biggest, no, I mean, what I say, like some of my biggest plays I've ever ran came from someone that I know that just kind of knew what we were doing and knew that, we were accountable. So they give us that call and give us that shot. You know what I'm saying? Like them having that trust for us is very important. So you got to earn that. You know what I'm saying? You got to earn that relationship. You got to nurture it. You got to build it. It's not just gonna come right to you. The instant gratification shit is not real. You know what I'm saying? So you can't make a living off instant gratification.
I'm glad that you actually brought up Legendary Rich, because I want to know, where do you, now it may not happen, who knows, but where do you see the company in the next 5 years?
In the next 5? I think that's definitely my next transition. I think the wave that we've been able to create with the lifestyle of mogul, it's not necessarily, see, mogul is like the definition is like a very, you know, a very rich and powerful person within the media, like not just me, it's the entertainment field in general. But to me, mogul just mean hustler, right? And mogul is just like a high end hustler, somebody that really is transitioned and became extremely successful and know how to put plays together and connect dots. You know what I'm saying? I think that lifestyle, like you said, the entrepreneur lifestyle is very popular. So when we drop some gear that kind of complements that lifestyle, from just being fly, being fresh, but also being casual and being yourself, is kind of like, it's a comfortable brand. You know what I'm saying? But the intent behind it is very serious and very next level. That's why it's like it's something that a lot of people can relate to. But the marketing plan and the vision that we have behind it, I truly believe is going to be our next wave of what we transition into full time. It's doing great. We have 3 back-to-back, drops that sold out within 24 hours. People loving it. They fiending for the next one. I'm grateful. It actually been in the works for a long time, but we just launched it in September, and it's been doing good. So I anticipate numbers, like my brother Larry June would say. We're gonna do big numbers, big organic numbers with that. So it's doing pretty good. So thank you for everybody that's supported. I'm gonna do like a dedication to San Francisco with this next drop, but it's gonna be creative, and it'll be linked to one of my albums. It's gonna be dope.
Oh, that's gonna be dope. I can't wait for that one.
It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be different from the shit that we dropped so far. The color schemes is gonna be different, but it's still gonna be simple, real chic and simple, something that anybody can wear. You can accessorize, throw your jewelry on top of it, do whatever you want to do with it. You know what I mean? But it's gonna be dope.
Okay, I can't wait for that one. I'm
Thank you,
also
bro.
into the fashion industry kind of myself. I started a clothing line, and so these types of insights, especially coming up as an entrepreneur, is very important, very key, because honestly, not until 2 years ago, I didn't know that there was actual like drops and collection lines
Yeah,
and things like that. I thought you
yeah.
just create something and release. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, releasing just go. I mean, offline, I could even talk to you about just some, strategy. I don't want to put too much on there because, some of these things you got to learn. You got to go, acquire that knowledge on your own. And as a hustler, I encourage other hustlers to go out there and learn. But off the record, I can even tell you some stuff that'll definitely help whatever business that you want to build. I don't want to be hella stingy with the info. I could drop a lot of knowledge in the interview, but it's some little secrets and shit that that I can tell you that'll help for sure.
appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Now, I wanted to ask you about your song "Welcome to the Bay."
Uh-huh.
That had the Bay popping for a minute. I don't remember the exact length. I mean, and this is just going off of the feel of it from being in the city. It seemed like it lasted like at least a month and a half run. It was just popping on the radio. Now, how did
Mhm.
that success feel to you? Because to us, it resonated with us in a certain way. But how did that success feel to you?
Um, do you mean the San Francisco anthem we talking about, or
Yeah,
the
yes.
Welcome to the Bay record? The San Francisco anthem, that shit was life changing. I mean, shout out to Tracks a Million, rest in peace, my brother, the guy that produced it. He just passed away. This was coming after my first album. I released my first album in '06. It did really good. We had like, BT and T coverage. We was touring. E40 presented it, so we were all over the place with him. It was a great success. But the San Francisco anthem song changed life. It was overnight success. But it wasn't overnight success for me. The record took off overnight. Like we recorded the track to me. It was like, look, I haven't given it to nobody else. I want you to start it. Definitely go get, the names like San Quinn and Messy Marv and other big name San Francisco artists to do this anthem together. So I eventually reached out to everybody and ended up having me, Banda, who was a successful artist, but also a successful man in the marijuana business. Now he's doing good. in San Quentin, we came up with this record called San Francisco Anthem. We sent it into the radio overnight. It went from number 0 to number 1. You know what I mean? Like it was a number 1 requested song on KBL in Sacramento, all these different places, and that shit took us all over the world. That record made our name, you know, travel to London, Japan, China. You know, a lot of people love San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people come from San Francisco. A lot of people in college, you know, that's from the Bay. And that was like the anthem. And then when our sports started winning out here, that kind of became like the unofficial anthem for the San Francisco Giants, the 49ers, a little bit with the Warriors, but more the San Francisco teams. And that shit changed everything for me, bro. That was everything right there. San Francisco Anthem is probably the most important record to my music career for sure. And they still blasting that shit. You know, they still do it every time the San Francisco sports team win, they play that. But they also play, you know, a new record that I'm a part of, that I manage and did all these things for as well. And that's the big STEPPIN record. So I'm just happy to be a part of history twice. You know what I'm saying?
Amen
so it's good.
To that.
It's good. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that record, man. I seen it from the baby steps. I seen it when it was just starting to bubble, and it seemed like my timeline just filled up throughout time of everybody doing the dance. And so I mean, like, how does that part feel, just to see it blossom?
It felt great. It felt great. Stunnerman 02, he's always been like a mentee of ours. Like he always has been around, and we have a lot of mutual friends, so we used to always run into him, but we never managed him up until a certain point. Like we just always just shared game with him and encouragement. And earlier last year, we actually ended up managing his girlfriend. She's an actress and a model. And you know, while we were doing that, kind of was just putting in the word like, man, Stunner, I want to work with y'all. And you know, he got some shit going on and it's starting to bubble. And I'm like, I see it. Like, I used to always just tell Stunner, like, look, bro, I don't want to get in your way. You got it. You can be the king of San Francisco. If you want it, just go for it. Go get it. And he kept shooting at it. And then I used to always tell him, keep going. You got it. You don't need no help. Just keep going. But it was starting to bubble. And we sat down. We had a meeting. We made it official. We took over as management for him, and like got to work. You know what I mean? He was already doing the footwork. My Danielle, my wife, had told him to do a challenge, like you know what I mean, like start the dance challenge, and that dude took that to a whole nother level. He went and did like 15 videos. So he did like 15 days of challenges before he even released it. So he was queued up for 2 weeks. It's been a great run for bro. He got a lot more coming. You know what I'm saying? So we're proud of him for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I don't know what's going on with these technical difficulties, so we just gonna wrap it up right here. My last question I ask all my guests is, would I be able to use you as a contact for future business advice?
Hell yeah, you will, man. Like I love the questions. I love your poise and how you running it. Hell yeah, you can use me as a cosign, everything, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Definitely as a reference for sure, bro. Anything you need. Appreciate you.
For sure, fam. I'm gonna hit you offline.
All right, bro. Tap in.
All right, fam. You take care.
You too.